Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Uniquely Made, where we do things uniquely different. Listen, my camera quality is not that great today. Too much light's just coming in from everywhere. Not enough light's coming in from where it needs to come in from. So, it is what it is. But listen, I want to talk to you guys about what are we on? We're on week 6, but what happened during week 5 of my Zepbound journey? So, I think I came to you guys last week and we talked about how I had gained 10 pounds back. So I went from 72 all the way to 282. And now this week when I weighed in, I was back down to 271. It's like, man, why are you yo-yoing so big? How are you losing so much weight and then gaining so much weight? What is really going on? Water retention. Water retention. Water retention. Water retention. So that's what happened. So I didn't really think about it until the very next day. Usually when I travel, my grandmother says I need to start wearing compression socks. I'm not really trying to do that, man. I feel like compression socks are for old people. Let's just be real. They don't make good looking compression socks. But anyway, so whenever I travel, if I sit for like a long time or if I fly, it's like, your legs get heavy and they feel like they're just full of whatever, right? So that's what happened when I got off that car ride that I've been driving for like 5 hours, sitting in the same position. And jumped out the house. Literally, the only thing I did was went and used the restroom and then hopped on a scale, not realizing I was carrying all this water retention and I was bloated at the same time. So there was a lot that my body was going through. So that wasn't necessarily an accurate reading. Now, I do think I did gain some weight because, like I said, I went a little ham. I wasn't drinking my water. I was eating a whole bunch of sweets. I was moving in a manner in which I shouldn't have been moving. But I don't think that I actually gained 10 pounds. So, but now we're at 271. So what am I doing differently now? So this week, I decided to be a little bit more disciplined and a little bit more strict. So I'm making sure that I actually start drinking my water again because I fell off on my water for like 4 days. And that's, during that time I gained that weight. So I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I drink my water. So I've been drinking my water a lot. Let's just say, people, I'll get to that in a second. And I started doing my protein shakes. My protein shakes have a whole bunch of stuff in it. It has protein, it has probiotics, it has greens, it has berries, strawberries, bananas, it has collagen, it has fiber, it has beetroot. It's got a lot going on for itself. You know what I'm saying? And then I take a zinc pill too. And I have a prebiotic. Well, actually, I have a prebiotic plus a probiotic gummy. I just haven't started taking that yet. But yeah, I have quite a few things going. I'm probably missing something. Nitrous oxide is in there. I'm probably missing something. Oh, and creatine's in there too. But I'm probably missing something that is in there. But it's a pretty tasty shake. So I like it. I've been doing that shake for quite a while. So, but I just kind of fell off. But anyway, I started taking that back this week. And let's just say, people, things are moving. So I wouldn't be surprised if I have a pretty decent weight loss gain come next week because things are moving. Let's just say that. And I went from my 25 ounces of water a day to since I added the smoothie protein shake, which is 32 ounces in the morning, and I decided to now just do 25 ounces of water per day. So I'm thinking of balance out. Let me know, if that's something that y'all think is a smart move, or I should just go back to the 4. And I've also shut it down after 9. So after 9, I don't drink water. I don't eat food either. So I usually try to stop eating around 7 or 8 and then drinking my last bit of water by 9 because I have to space my water out because if not, I'm just piling a bunch of water on myself for no reason. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that as far as like when to stop eating, when to take, cut that, because I usually go to bed around 1 o'clock. So I try not to go to bed with like a bunch of food on my stomach or having to use the restroom, so I don't really have to wake up out of my sleep and go run to the restroom. You know what I'm saying? So I want all that to be out of my system before I go to bed, so I can get a good night rest. And then when I get up in the morning, I feel flushed, I feel slim, I feel trim, and I can kind of get my day started again. Because once you start moving around and you start walking, your system starts saying, "Hey, things are moving. You need to move." You know what I mean? So that's the purpose of walking. That's the purpose of moving, so that your system can move. When we just set sedentary, all that stuff just sits on us, and it's not going nowhere, right? So that's why we got to move. We got to move. We got to move. And so I was thinking about this, and I feel like being on a GLP-1 forces you to make the right decisions, right? So, and the reason that I say I think that I feel like it forces you to make the right decision. Y'all might hear my computer go off in a second because my alarm just went off. Don't mind that. Is because when I didn't do like I was supposed to with the water, I had a negative response, right? When I ate crazy, I had a negative response. When I eat the foods that I'm not supposed to eat, I have a negative response, right? So when we ignore that, our body doesn't usually tell us when we're just in a regular state. It doesn't say anything. It's like, okay, yeah, hey, maybe you shouldn't. But when you're on a GLP-1, it's screaming, "Hey, bro, stop." I said, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like it's aggravated at us or something like that. It'll definitely let us know, like, hey, nah, don't even do it. You can't do it. So I think, to me, that is what the GLP-1s do. And that's why they allow you to lose the weight differently. So if you were able to have this same type of, I hate to use the word discipline because discipline makes it sound like you weren't trying, right? But if you were able to hear this as loudly as you are on GPL1s without the GPL1, I think a lot of us would not be in the situations that we're in, to be honest with you. Like, I think that because we are tone deaf to what our body is telling us when we're not on GLP-1, excuse me, then, we don't necessarily know when we're full. And I was watching a thing, Diary of a CEO. That's one of the channels that I like to watch on YouTube. Steven is the guy's name. I can't think of his last name, but he has a lot of interesting topics on there, and he talks about a lot of interesting things. And one of the things that the guy was saying is that when we eat good tasting food, because of the ingredients that are in there, it shuts our brain off and doesn't necessarily tell us that we're full. It tells us that we're still hungry, because a lot of times, I believe he was saying like salt and things of that nature, or sugars and things of that nature, don't necessarily make you gain weight, but what they do is fool your body into thinking that you need more food or you're not necessarily full. Don't fact check me on that because I could be wrong. I might be misquoting what they actually said on there. But what they did say is that there are some ingredients in food that can give you the misconception that you're not full when you actually are full. So your body is saying, feed me more, when in fact, if you didn't have that, you'd be full, right? So maybe I just need to be around people that don't know how to cook. Maybe that's it, right? So, but, with the GPL1s, I don't think it necessarily matters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not a big salt person anyway. But I think that those receptors are turned on whenever. And whenever it sees something that it don't like, it goes into fight mode for you. And you can feel your body literally like battling. Like, nah, this ain't finna happen. Like, we don't like this. So you're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to put that in my body again because it didn't react well the last time. Now you can still keep putting it in your body, and then you can still not keep feeling good, and then you know what I'm saying. You can sometimes you're like, oh, the side effects. No, some of y'all just being hard headed. It ain't necessarily side effects. It's just some of y'all being hard headed, and you don't want to listen to what your body is telling you. You know what I'm saying. So, but anyway, that's week 5 recap for me. So I learned a valuable lesson in the beginning, which I'm glad that I did, and that I didn't learn it later and got got really thrown off the course. I'm glad that I learned it now and was able to look back and see, okay, what happened? What did I do wrong? Okay, this is how we can fix it. This is how we can correct that moving forward. And I implore everybody to do that. Like, if you're going, it don't matter what you're doing in life. If something is not working out in the manner and the way in which you want it to work out, and it throws you off course, figure out what happened. Don't just like, oh, well, that's it. Throw my hands up. No, figure out what happened. How can you correct it? How can you fix it so that it doesn't happen moving forward? We have to learn lessons from life. You can't just go through life just ignorant and blind and never learn anything. You're not getting better. You have to go through life. You have to learn lessons from life. 'Cause life is going to teach you. But you got to be willing to learn what life is trying to teach you so that you don't end up making the same mistakes over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So, like, we're adults. I think the only people that make the same mistake over and over again are children, right? Like, we adults, we shouldn't be making the same mistake over and over again, right? So, it's just like, not to say that there won't be another 5 or 10 pound gain. I'm not saying that, right? Because there could be, but it will be another way. It won't be this way again. So it's just, and then when that happens, I have to assess it and say, okay, why did this happen? You know what I'm saying? What did I change, or what did I do differently? Or is this just the state that my body is in where it's going to yo-yo? Which is quite possible because, our bodies yo-yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because our bodies are made to go up and down. That's just the way it is. So, yeah. So that's it for this week, guys. Make sure you go on my Instagram and check out my Instagram, Uniquely Fit, so you can see my Zepbound Mondays when I do my injections and my weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on there. I did start posting on my TikTok again, which is Uniquely Made. But if you want to know the skinny of what's going on and how it's making me feel and my weekly recaps, come on over here to YouTube to Uniquely Made, where we do things uniquely different. And I want you to like, and if you know somebody that can use this information or just needs to hear this information or might be able to give me some information, share this thing. And then, hit the bell icon so y'all know whenever I come on. But it's going to be every Wednesday. So I'll see y'all till next week. And let's get it. Let's go, my GPL1 Warriors.